Aloha and welcome everyone to tonight's Tuxes and Tales Living the Legacy. I'm Anna Neubauer, the President and CEO for the Hawaiian Humane Society, and we are here again at the lovely Alohilani. It's my privilege to thank our co-chairs, Maiko Sasa and Shelley Kramer tonight. They have done an incredible job to make this evening happen, and we're so thrilled that they came back to be our co-chairs. Over this past year, we've really made remarkable strides for the animals of our island, bringing both care to the animals and people together to support animal welfare. And before we move on, really want to take a moment to honor a very special person and pay tribute to both Francis and Bob Bean for their special contributions throughout the years to the animals of our island.
I have many fond memories with Mr. Bean. I think the one that came to my mind was about Max. So Max was my neighbor's dog that wasn't looked after. On the third time when Max escaped from home, I decided I should just not return Max. So I called Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bean said, bring him over. Max spent the night on top of Mr. Bean's head, and the next day, Mr. Bean had his secretary adopting me.
Bob is larger than life, as we all know. And, I love that he was a real doer. He was so committed and passionate about animal welfare. He just really was so genuine and just couldn't give enough to the Hawaiian Humane Society and its mission and its work in our community.
So when I first joined the board, I didn't know Bob, but I quickly learned about his reputation and the level of engagement he had for the organization.
As many charities that Mr. Bean was involved, for sure, hands down, Hawaiian Humane Society is his first and most important. The Hawaiian Humane Society just holds such a special place in his heart.
I think Bob, and of course together with Francis, we're very committed to the human-animal bond and to animal welfare, and that we as a society were around to promote that and to manage that process with the community. Well, I think that's what Bob will be remembered for.
I just had such a respect for what he had been able to do on behalf of the organization, and the example of how we all want it to be in terms of our level of passion and support for the Hawaiian Humane Society.
Bob has always been an incredible champion of Hawaiian Humane Society, and his support through not only our capital campaign to build West Oahu, but just being a great thought partner and leader to go through some of the issues that we had, trying to figure out the best security and approach to security at that campus to keep not only the animals safe, but our people safe as well.
My favorite memory of Bob and Frances probably would be their involvement with the Junior Development Council when it started in 2019. Both of them were so thrilled that the youth were coming together to support their favorite organization. The kids loved it, had a good time, and a lot of meetings were held at their house.
They've helped the arts, they've helped the Hawaii Community Foundation, and numerous other organizations. They were huge advocates and continue to be through Francis, that the Humane Society is an important part of our community, maintaining our position and helping the community with animal welfare.
He was just such a great resource and really cared deeply for the Hawaiian Humane Society, all the animals that we care for in our community in particular.
I remember Bob told me what he wanted his legacy to be was that everyone could still support the animals because they do not have a voice. He was so proud of the Junior Development Council and how they stood up for animals, raised amazing funds to help this organization.
Can't begin to thank you, Bob, for all that you have done and given to our animals, our community. Thank you, Bob. You will always be in our hearts and our animals. Thank you.
So much of what Hawaiian Humane has become is a reflection of Bob's generosity, his vision, and his enormous heart. We are forever grateful to him and his wonderful wife, Frances, for all they have given to our animals. Every day here at Hawaiian Humane Society, over 45 animals enter our doors needing some level of care, whether it's a stray animal or an animal that their family could no longer care for. They're here because they need us, and our community needs to support them. So these animals are coming from a variety of different backgrounds, and we're excited to share some of those stories with you tonight.
I came in the morning of January 7th, which was a Wednesday, immediately hopped on my email and had an email from our dispatcher, Christelle, explaining that Maui Humane had reached out to her regarding a dog that they had been in contact with. 7 to 10 days later, they were able to catch him, and he was in pretty critical condition at that point. So that was the morning that they reached out to us. We got to work getting him here through all the contact channels. So I grabbed him, rushed him straight up to veterinary services, and that was our first kind of glance at how severe his injuries were. His left hind leg, we're still unsure of exactly how the injury occurred, whether he got hit by a car. There was speculation at some point about a gunshot wound, but I don't think we'll ever truly know what happened to him. What we do know is he was in really severe condition and the clock was ticking. He was severely dehydrated. It was clear that he had not been eating or drinking. Several bones were broken in his leg. And given the amount of time that it had been since the injury originally occurred with the infections, it had more or less seeped into the rest of his body. He was dying at that point, and so time was completely of the essence. We needed to act immediately. And so we kind of went into scramble mode at that time. We didn't have any veterinarians available that could do an emergency amputation. And aside from just an emergency amputation, it was going to be several days of just supportive care because his body was shutting down at that point. Anna Neubauer, our CEO and president, got in contact with Dr. Casey Carter of Pearls Veterinary Surgery, who, being the wonderful human being he and his wife are, rushed right over and did Rupert's amputation. So had emergency amputation that very same day. To all of our surprises, survived the surgery, but that was not the end of it. Everybody knew we still had a long road ahead for recovery. Rupert was sent off to an external veterinary emergency clinic where he could receive round-the-clock care. And so I didn't see him. I think it was probably either 48 or 72 hours I didn't see him. And I came in and I was walking through large dog holding, just making my rounds. And I see this brown dog just up at the front of the kennel, like wiggling away. And I was like, it was Rupert. And I immediately went into the kennel with him. So after seeing him in his kennel and just this completely transformed, wiggly, happy dog, we were really surprised that his recovery didn't take longer. I think it was within a week of him coming back from emergency care. He moved out to the adoption floor, and just within a few days, he found his new family. His new family was so thrilled, and we're just happy to have been a part of that.
Latka's story is really special. All the animals that come into our care are special, but his story definitely stands out. He was brought into our care after being brought in by, I believe it was a Good Samaritan, to VCA Family and a Walk with Special Needs Veterinary Center in Pearl City. He had a ruptured eye. He was emaciated. They stabilized him overnight, and our field operations teams picked him up and brought him into our shelter clinic. And there, our relief veterinarian determined that he had some pretty significant health conditions. He tested FIV positive, that on top of his ruptured eye that clearly needed to be removed. He had advanced dental disease, so his mouth was in really terrible condition, and he was just so skinny. And Dr. Gans, our relief veterinarian, did his surgery, removed his eye, and also 10 teeth. This poor guy, he went through so much, and our team just really centered around him to try to give him as much care that he needed. Once he was ready to be made available for adoption, they moved him out to our cat house, Blue, for some of our Shire cats. And there, our behavior team observed that he really was struggling on the adoptions floor. He was just such a fearful cat, so much so that he wouldn't leave his hide box. He was soiling himself, just kind of demonstrates the abject fear that he was feeling in this unknown environment. The shelter environment can be really stressful for some of our more sensitive animals. And that was certainly him. So our behavior team called on our community engagement department because we frequently foster office animals. He moved into our office where he lived with us for a few weeks, and within a couple of days, we fell in love with him. It's impossible not to fall in love with the animals that we care about. He was so full of love. He would just crawl onto your lap, need little biscuits. There wasn't a day that I would come into the office and one of our team members, any one of them, would be sitting on the ground, and there would be Latka, happy, so content, and just needing little biscuits. and purring. He had the loudest chainsaw purr. There was a young woman who came into our office who was interested in meeting him. Cat Enrichment Volunteers Karen, who really advocates for our office fosters. She escorted this young woman into our office. It was clear that she fell in love with him. He just walked right into her lap, started that trademark purr, and you could just see her melt. And within a couple of weeks, we had heard from our adoptions team, they got the update that she was interested in adopting him. And that's just the best story. That's what makes this work so worthwhile, is seeing these happily ever afters that you get to be a small part of.
We cannot do this work without you, without friends like Bob and Frances Bean, without each and every one of you in this room tonight. This work takes all of us. It takes community to help these animals and help each other within our community when we're struggling. We're so incredibly grateful for you for showing up this evening, for supporting the good work that we're doing, and for helping us to lead animal welfare practices into the future and beyond. Thank you all so much for being here this evening, and I look forward to sharing even more stories with you over this next year. Mahalo.